Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Do you believe that what you think about is what you bring about in your life? And that if you thought beautiful thoughts and really focused on what you desired, that it could come true in your life? We become what we think about all day long, is what Ralph Waldo Emerson and all the greatest thinking and scientific and religious minds, all the most powerful people who have ever lived, showed us that. They taught us that. They believed that. And it's true. Yesterday, talking about believing in negativity and lack and limitation, or wondrous, beautiful, wealthy riches in your life. Whatever direction you're focused in is the direction you're going, and your thoughts are going in certain directions. Sometimes you're not even aware of it. So, in order to influence your subconscious mind, in order to really focus on bringing in what do you really want, suggesting to yourself over and over and over that it's possible, that if someone else can do it, you can do it. That if it's a picture in your mind, it's something in your heart, you want to keep telling yourself over and over and over that it's possible, and until you believe it, and then it becomes true. So you might want to sit back and take some notes. I'm going to talk about chapter 4 in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. My mentor, Bob Proctor, read a paragraph, a chapter, or a sentence from Think and Grow Rich every day. I think he was introduced to Think and Grow Rich at the age of 26, and he read parts of it every day until his passing at the age of 87. This is not a book that you skim through or speed read or read through and put down and think you know it all. It's something that you can study, practice, use daily, and it will help you become richly blessed in any area of your life that you want. So, chapter 4 is autosuggestion. Napoleon Hill said this is the medium for influencing the subconscious mind, and it's the third step toward riches. Autosuggestion is a term which applies to all suggestions and all self-administered stimuli which reach one's mind through the five senses. Stated in another way, autosuggestion is self-suggestion. It is the agency of communication between that part of the mind where conscious thought takes place and that which serves as the seat of action for the subconscious mind. Through the dominating thoughts, which one permits to remain in the conscious mind, whether these thoughts be negative or positive is immaterial, the principle of autosuggestion voluntarily reaches the subconscious mind and influences it with these thoughts. No thought, whether it be negative or positive, can enter the subconscious mind without the aid of the principle of autosuggestion, with the exception of thoughts picked up from the ether. Stated differently, all sense impressions which are perceived through the five senses are stopped by the conscious thinking mind and may be either passed on to the subconscious mind, accepted, or rejected at will. The conscious faculty serves therefore as an outer guard to the approach of the subconscious. So you've got sort of a filter, a filtration system, the reticular activating system in your brain is what's going to filter out what you don't believe. It's going to filter out what you don't notice, what you don't think is meant for you. Napoleon Hill says, nature has so built man that he has absolute control over the material which reaches his subconscious mind through his five senses. Although this is not meant to be construed as a statement that man always exercises this control. In the great majority of instances, he does not exercise it, which explains why so many people go through life in poverty. Recall what has been said about the subconscious mind resembling a fertile garden spot in which weeds will grow in abundance if the seeds of a more desirable crop are not sown therein. Autosuggestion is the agency of control through which an individual may voluntarily feed his subconscious mind thoughts of a creative nature, or by neglect, permit thoughts of a destructive nature to find their way into the rich garden of the mind. In chapter 2, in Think and Grow Rich, the chapter on desire, the first step is to read out loud twice a day the written statement of your desire. What is your desire? Is it for millions of dollars? Is it for purposeful work? Is it for time to relax and enjoy your leisure activities? To spend time with your loved ones? Have you gotten clear on what you truly want in your life? He says, read twice daily the written statement of your desire. In this case, he says, for money, and to see and feel yourself already in possession of the money. What would you be doing with it? How would you be spending it? You're not going to just stare at the numbers in your bank account. You're not going to sit there counting it. You're going to be using it, investing it, spending it, enjoying it. By following these instructions, you communicate the object of your desire directly to your subconscious mind in a spirit of absolute faith. Through repetition of this procedure, you voluntarily create thought habits which are favorable to your efforts to transmute desire into its monetary equivalent. He says to go back to these 6 steps described in chapter 2 and again read them very carefully before you proceed further. So I'm going to read those 6 steps. And in the summary of the instructions in autosuggestion, he says, go to some quiet spot, preferably in bed at night where you will not be disturbed or interrupted. Close your eyes and repeat out loud so you may hear your own words the written statement of your goal, the amount of money you intend to accumulate, the time limit for its accumulation, and a description of the service or merchandise you intend to give in return for the money. How are you going to be earning it? What purposeful work do you want to do that will create wealth and satisfaction and time and money freedom in your life? What service are you going to be providing or product? How is the wealth going to serve you in your life? Whatever it is that you want, write it down and write down when you intend to receive it. By December 31st, 2025, I will have $5 million of disposable income for the services that I provide. Whatever resonates with you, whatever you desire, maybe you don't care about the money, but it does help in providing for your loved ones. So you write down the amount of money you intend to accumulate, the time limit for its accumulation, and a description of the service or merchandise you intend to receive. And you could write that on a little card and carry it with you. And you could start this sentence with, I am so happy and grateful now that I've achieved this, now that it's mine. I'm so happy and grateful now that. As you carry out these instructions, see yourself already in possession of the money. Well, this book was written a very long time ago. So Napoleon Hill says, for example, suppose that you intend to accumulate $50,000 by the 1st of January, 5 years hence, and you intend to give personal services in return for the money in the capacity of a salesman. Your written statement of your purpose should be similar to the following. By the first day of January 1950, I will have in my possession $50,000, which will come to me in various amounts from time to time during the interim. In return for this money, I will give the most efficient service of which I am capable, rendering the fullest possible quantity and the best possible quality of service in the capacity of salesman of. Describe the service or merchandise you intend to sell. I believe that I will have this money in my possession. My faith is so strong that I can now see this money before my eyes. I can touch it with my hands. It is now awaiting transfer to me at the time and in the proportion that I deliver the service I intend to render in return for it. I am awaiting a plan by which to accumulate this money, and I will follow the plan when it is received. Repeat this program night and morning until you can see it in your imagination, the money you intend to accumulate. So that's the second step. Repeat it every morning and every night. The third step, place a written copy of your statement where you can see it every night and every morning, and read it out loud before retiring and upon arising until it has been memorized. Remember, as you carry out these instructions, that you are applying the principle of autosuggestion for the purpose of giving orders to your subconscious mind. Remember that your subconscious mind will only act upon the instructions which are emotionalized and handed over to it with feeling. Faith is the strongest and most productive of the emotions. And he tells us to follow the instructions given in chapter 3 on faith. These instructions may at first seem abstract. Do not let this disturb you. Follow the instructions no matter how abstract or impractical they may at first appear to be. The time will soon come if you do as you've been instructed in spirit as well as in actions, when a whole new universe of power will unfold to you. Skepticism in connection with all new ideas is a characteristic of all human beings. But if you follow the instructions outlined, your skepticism will soon be replaced by belief. And this in turn will soon become crystallized into absolute faith. Then you will arrive at the point where you may truly say, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Many philosophers have made the statement that man is the master of his own earthly destiny, but most of them have failed to say why he is the master. The reason that man may be the master of his own earthly status, and especially his financial status, is thoroughly explained in this chapter. Man may become the master of himself and of his environment because he has the power to influence his own subconscious mind, and through it gain the cooperation of infinite intelligence. You are now reading the chapter which represents the keystone to the arch of this philosophy. The instructions contained in this chapter must be understood and applied with persistence if you are to succeed in transmuting your desire into money, love, health, whatever you desire. The actual performance of transmuting desire into money involves the use of autosuggestion as an agency by which one may reach and influence the subconscious mind. The other principles are simply tools with which to apply autosuggestion. So the subconscious mind resembles a fertile garden spot with which weeds will grow in abundance if the seeds of a more desirable crop are not sown. Autosuggestion is the agency of control through which you may voluntarily feed your subconscious mind thoughts of what you truly desire. Remember, when reading aloud the statement of your desire, that mere reading of the words is of no consequence unless you mix emotion or feeling with your words. If you repeat 1,000,000 times a day the famous Emil Coué formula, day by day in every way I'm getting better and better, without mixing emotion and faith with your words, you will experience no desirable results. Your subconscious mind recognizes and acts only upon thoughts which have been well mixed with emotion or feeling. This is a fact of such importance as to warrant repetition in practically every chapter of Think and Grow Rich, because the lack of understanding of this is the main reason the majority of people who try to apply the principle of autosuggestion get no desirable results. Plain, unemotional words do not influence the subconscious mind. You will get no appreciable results until you learn to reach your subconscious mind with thoughts or spoken words which have been well emotionalized with belief. Do not become discouraged if you cannot control and direct your emotions the first time you try to do so. Remember, there is no such possibility as something for nothing. ability to reach and influence your subconscious mind has its price, and you must pay that price. You cannot cheat even if you desire to do so. The price of ability to influence your subconscious mind is everlasting persistence in applying the principles described here. You cannot develop the desired ability for a lower price. You and you alone must decide whether or not the reward for which you are striving, the money consciousness, the love, respect, joy, peace, whatever it is, loving relationship, you alone must decide whether or not the reward for which you are striving is worth the price you must pay for it in effort. Napoleon Hill says, wisdom and cleverness alone will not attract and retain money except in a very few rare instances where the law of averages favors the attraction of money through these sources. The method of attracting money described here does not depend upon the law of averages. Moreover, the method plays no favorites. It will work for one person as effectively as it will work for another. Where failure is experienced, it is the individual, not the method, which has failed. If you try and fail, make another effort, and still another, until you succeed. Your ability to use the principle of autosuggestion will depend very largely upon your capacity to concentrate upon a given desire until that desire becomes a burning obsession. When you begin to carry out the instructions in connection with the 6 steps described in the 2nd chapter, it will be necessary for you to make use of the principle of concentration. Fix in your own mind the exact amount of money you desire. Hold your thoughts on that amount of money by concentration or fixation of attention with your eyes closed until you can actually see the physical appearance of the money. Do this at least once a day. As you go through these exercises, follow the instructions given in the chapter on faith and see yourself actually in possession of the money. Here is a most significant fact. The subconscious mind takes any orders given it in a spirit of absolute faith and acts upon those orders, although the orders often have to be presented over and over and over again through repetition before they are interpreted by the subconscious mind. Following the preceding statement, consider the possibility of playing a perfectly legitimate trick on your subconscious mind by making it believe, because you believe it, that you must have the amount of money you're visualizing, that this money is already awaiting your claim, that the subconscious mind must hand over to you practical plans for acquiring the money which is yours. You know, the subconscious mind, your emotional mind, speaks the language. Your subconscious mind speaks the language of emotion. So you're learning, and it's like learning a new language. You have to be persistent. You have to practice. You have to get totally involved emotionally, getting relaxed and at ease and focusing on what you really want. Napoleon Hill says, hand over the thought suggested in the previous paragraph to your imagination and see what your imagination can or will do to create practical plans for the accumulation of the money through the transmutation of your desire. Do not wait for a definite plan through which you intend to exchange services or merchandise in return for the money that you're visualizing, but begin at once to see yourself in possession of the money, demanding and expecting, meanwhile, that your subconscious mind will hand over the plan or plans that you need. Be on the alert for these plans, and when they appear, put them into action immediately. When the plans appear, they will probably flash into your mind through your intuition, through what you might call your sixth sense, in the form of an inspiration. This inspiration may be considered a direct telegram or message from infinite intelligence. Treat it with respect and act upon it as soon as you receive it. Failure to do this will be fatal to your success. In the fourth of the 6 steps, you were instructed to create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and to begin at once to put this plan into action. You should follow this instruction in the manner described in the preceding paragraph. Do not trust your reason, your logic, when creating your plan for accumulating money through the transmutation of desire. Your reason is faulty. Moreover, your reasoning factor may be lazy. If you depend upon it to serve you, it may disappoint you. When visualizing the money you intend to accumulate with your eyes closed, see yourself rendering the service or delivering the merchandise you intend to give in return for this money. This is important. The actual performance of transmuting desire into money involves the use of autosuggestion as an agency by which one may reach and influence the subconscious mind. Carry out these instructions as though you were a small child. Inject into your efforts something of the faith of a child. Napoleon Hill has been most careful to see that no impractical instructions were included because of his sincere desire to be helpful. He says that autosuggestion is so important that if you've read the whole book, Think and Grow Rich, he suggests that you read the autosuggestion chapter aloud once every night until you become thoroughly convinced that the power of autosuggestion is sound and that it will accomplish for you all that has been claimed for it. Follow the foregoing instructions to the letter, and it will open the way for a complete understanding and mastery of the principle of success. Whatever it is that you desire, whatever you truly want, you must take the time twice a day, every day, to write it out. I am so happy and grateful now that whatever it is you desire is yours. Get emotionally involved. How would you be dressing, acting, talking, working? What would you be doing if once your goal has been attained? Every morning, every night. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you.